So we are recording this session. All right. And so, y'all, what we're going to do now is we're going to talk again, y'all, for the most part, for the rest of the, today and next week, guys, we're going to be doing more of the algebra stuff. Okay. And the idea here, at least the first part of it, should be pretty straightforward, but we're solving equations here, guys. And when we're solving equations, what we're trying to do, the objective in solving equation, y'all, is we want to get the x all by itself. Okay. We're trying to get the x by itself or the y by itself, whatever letter we end up having. Okay. Y'all, when we're solving an equation, what we're trying to do is we're trying to undo the process. If you think about today, this morning, those of you who are here, and even those of you who are at home, whenever you're going to leave the house, typically the last thing that you put on when you walk out of the house, y'all, are your shoes. That's typically the last thing we put on. The first thing that comes off when we get home usually is the shoes, right? So we kind of do things in the opposite order. So what I mean by that, y'all, is if I have an equation here, it says x plus 7 equals 10. I'm going to ask myself, how would I undo this process? And if I'm adding right now, y'all, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to subtract 7, okay? So this 7 and that 7 are going to cancel out. And then on this side, y'all, 10 minus 7 is going to give me, okay? And this is how we solve an equation. So we end up with 3. And y'all, if you think about the original problem that we had, it said x plus 7 equals 10. And the number we got for x, y'all, was 3. So look what they're saying. 3 plus 7 equals 10? Yeah, it is, right? That's really what the objective is here. We're trying to undo the process, okay? So y'all, when I scroll down to the next one here, and it says x minus 2 equals negative 4, if I'm minusing, y'all, I'm going to do the opposite, which is to add, okay? So those are going to cancel. And then right here, y'all, again, I want you to think about, remember what a negative number means. Negative number means I owe you. Positive number means how much money I have. Very good. So if I owe you $4 and I only give you 2, I still owe you 2, right? All right. Let's see. Y'all, for the next one here, 7x plus 2x equals 8x minus 3. Okay. Y'all, when I start, like this problem here looks a little bit more complex. I got more pieces to it. Y'all, I typically tell my students, draw a little line where the equal sign is. This just lets me know there's two sides to the equation. There's the stuff that we have on the left side, and there's the stuff that we have on the right side. So y'all, look, these are like terms. 7x and 2x, boom, there's 9 of them, equals 8x minus 3, okay? Now, y'all, since we are trying to solve for x, I want to get the x's all on one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, look, if I want to get all the x's on one side and all the numbers on the other, right here I have x's, right here I have x's and numbers. Why don't we get rid of this 8x by subtracting it? Okay, let me get rid of that line. I don't want you to think it's a fraction. Okay, let me get rid of that 8x by subtracting it, right? So that over here, those will go away, and 9x minus 8x is just 1x, and then there's my negative 3. Okay. Again, y'all, my objective here, trying to get the letter by itself, right? Whether it's X or Y, it doesn't really make any difference, but I'm just trying to get that letter by itself. Okay. Y'all, I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. Okay. And again, I'm going to draw my line right through the middle. So y'all, on the left side, I can't do anything with 2y and 10. But over here, 5y minus 4y is just a 1y, okay? Or a y, however you want to write it. Now, again, y'all, remember, I want to get y's on one side and numbers on the other. Over here on this side, y'all, I have y's and numbers. Over here, I just have y's. So why don't we move this 2y to this side, and this way all the y's are together. So, y'all, the sign of that 2 is positive, so I'm going to put a minus here. Okay. So those two y's are going to cancel. That's going to leave me with a 10. Y'all, 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. So, y'all, I have 10 equals negative 1 with a y. Now, if there is a number in front of my y that I need to get rid of, the way we get rid of it, y'all, is to divide. Okay. Y'all, right here, 10 divided by negative 1, boom, just a negative 10. Okay. So again, y'all, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get my letters on one side and all my numbers on the other. Okay. That's the objective when you're solving an equation. So y'all, let me scroll down a little bit more. Again, I'm going to draw my vertical line going down here. First thing we're going to do, y'all, we're going to multiply. Okay. 1 and 2. So negative 5 times n, negative 5n. Y'all look right here. Negative times a negative is a positive. Good. 8 minus 4n. Okay. Now, y'all, at this point, if you notice, on both sides we have letters, and on both sides we have numbers. So what do we move? It doesn't make any difference, but we're going to make a decision. Do we want the letters on the left and the numbers on the right? Or do we want the letters on the right and the numbers on the left? It doesn't make any difference, right? It's really up to us to make a choice here. So, y'all, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, look, you know what? I want to move that 5n. I want to move this guy over. Since it's negative, let me put a positive here. Okay. Now, notice, y'all, those ends are going to cancel. The only thing I have over here is a 10. 8. Let's see over here, y'all. Minus 4 and plus 5. If I owed you $4 and I had 5, I'm still left with one of them, right? Okay. Now, I want you to think about what we just did, y'all. We moved the ends to the right side. Well, if we're moving the ends to the right side, then we want to move the numbers to the left. What I mean by that, I'm going to minus this 8 over here. Okay. So, y'all, 1n is really the same thing as n, right? I don't have to put the 1 in front of it. And on this side, y'all, 10 minus 8 is just going to leave me with a 2. Okay. All right. Guys, I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. Okay. Again, I'm going to keep working here. Okay. So, look, y'all, we're going to go like this. We're going to draw this line going straight down. Okay. Again, y'all, we have X's and we have numbers, and we got them on both sides. So, again, y'all, we have to make a choice. Do I want to move my X's to the right, or do I want to move my X's to the left? Okay. Again, we make that choice, y'all. Nobody makes it for us except for us, right? So let's do this. Y'all, one of the things I like to do, it just makes it a little bit easier. If I look at my two X's, right, that I have, if I don't want to end up with a negative number, I'm going to move the smaller X to the bigger X. What I mean by the smaller X, the smaller one is the 5. So let's go minus 5X on both sides. Okay. Now over here, y'all, negative 6. 6 minus 5X, boom, just a 1X. Minus 5. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get a negative number, but I don't have a negative in front of my X. Okay. Now, y'all, I need to get rid of that minus 5. So again, plus 5. Okay. And then now, y'all, we have X equals, let's see, negative 6 plus 5. If I owed you $6 and I had 5, I still owe you 1. Okay. There it is. All right. Y'all, I'm going to keep scrolling down here. Okay. And let's see what we can figure out with this next one. So, y'all, look, I'm putting my line down there. Okay. On the left side, y'all, look, let's combine some like terms. So 8 minus 6, 2y, okay, plus 2. On this side, y'all, 3 minus 10. So remember, 3 minus 10, I have $3, but I owed you 10. Boom, I still owed you 7. Okay. Now, again, y'all, like I said before, we get to choose where do we want to move our letters. I told you guys, if you don't want to end up with a negative in front of your letter, then move the smaller one to the bigger one. Y'all, the smaller one, that's a 1y, that's 2. So 1 is smaller. I'm going to go minus 1y, minus 1y right here. Okay. So look, y'all, 2 minus 1, 2y minus 1y, 1y. Plus 2 equals negative 7. So I'm going to write that over here because I'm kind of running out of room. Okay, here's my little line. All right, if I want to get rid of that plus 2, boom, minus 2. Okay. Y equals minus 7 minus 2, y'all. Boom. Minus 9, right? If I owed you 7 and I borrowed 2 more, I now owe you $9, right? All righty. Y'all, I'm going to keep scrolling down my list. Okay. And I'm going to draw my line going straight down right here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and start multiplying. So 3 times n is a 3n. 3 times minus 5 is a minus 15. Y'all, when I have a minus here and I don't see a number, think about the number there, y'all, being -1. Okay. So look, y'all, -1 times 6, minus 6. -1 times a -2 is a positive 2n equals 4n. Okay. All right. Now, y'all, right here, 3n and 2n, 5n. Minus 15 and minus 6. Think about that, y'all. I owed you $15 and I borrowed 6 more. I now owe you 21. Okay. Now, y'all, I told you before, if I don't want to end up with a negative in front of my letter, I'm going to move the smaller one to the bigger one. But I want you also to remember, what is the objective? The objective is to get all the letters on one side and all the numbers on the other. Y'all, on the left side, I have a 5n and I have a minus 21. On the right side, all I have there are n's. Even though I'm okay getting a negative in front of my letter, I'm going to move the 5n this way, even though the 5 is bigger. Because when we do that, y'all, look, negative 21, 4 minus 5, y'all. If I had $4 and I owed you 5, I still owe you 1. Okay. But at least I have numbers on one side, letters on the other. Y'all, right here, when we end up with negative 21 equals negative 1n, if there's a number in front of my n that I need to get rid of, we do it by dividing. Okay. Negative 21 divided by negative 1 is a positive 21, right? Because a negative divided by negative is a positive. There we go. Okay. All right. Y'all, I'm going to keep scrolling down here. Okay, and let's see if we can do a few more here. So, y'all, this next part here says this is what we call the multiplication property of equality. Y'all, when we are multiplying, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of the number in front of the x, okay? If the number in front of the x is a -5, we're going to divide by -5, okay? Y'all, a negative divided by negative is a positive, and that's just going to give me 4, okay? All right, the next one here, y'all, 3x equals 0. Again, I'm going to divide everything by the number 3. And y'all, 0 divided by 3 is actually still 0. The other day we talked about when we're dividing, we don't want to divide by 0, but we can divide into 0. So it's okay to have 0 on the top, just not 0 on the bottom. Okay, good, 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 good. Y'all, for this next one here, the number in front of my x, again, if I don't see it, it's really understood to be a -1, right? So we're going to divide both sides by a -1. And then right here, y'all, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And 1 goes into 12 just 12 times, right? Okay, so y'all, for problems like this, where we have fractions, and I think, yeah, we're going to do a couple like this. When we have problems like this, where we have a fraction, again, I want you to think about what a fraction means we're doing. A fraction means we're dividing, and we want to undo the process, y'all. So the opposite of divide is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply by the number that we have on the bottom. The reason why I want to do that, y'all, is that this 2 and that 2 will cancel out, and there's my A. And then right here, y'all, 1 times 2, boom, that's just giving me a 2. Okay. So whatever number I have on the bottom, I'm going to multiply by that number. Okay. Again, I'm trying to undo the process. If I'm dividing, the opposite of dividing is to multiply. Okay. Y'all, right here, we're dividing by the number -7. So right here, guys, I'm going to multiply by -7 so that this -7 and that -7 would cancel out. Y'all, since we're multiplying by 0, remember, anytime you multiply by 0, y'all, my answer is just 0, right? Because 0 times anything is always going to give me 0. All right, guys, I'm going to keep scrolling down here. Let's see. Okay, so again, y'all, I'm going to draw my line going up and down, right, where my equal sign is, right here. And again, I'm trying to solve for x, y'all. So I want to get all the numbers on one side and all my x's on the other. So right here, if it's a -4, y'all, I'm going to go +4. Okay. Because I'm trying to undo the process. Okay. So look, y'all, 16 and 4 is 20. Since we're multiplying by 2, y'all, I'm going to do the opposite, which is to divide by 2. And 20 divided by 2, y'all, is just going to give me 10. Okay. All right. Y'all, I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. Okay. And we're going to put a line right through here. Okay. I have a +2. So, y'all, again, my objective, do the opposite, subtract 2. Now, remember, y'all, the number in front of that x is really a -1x. Okay. So 22 minus 2 is just 20. My last step, y'all, is to divide by -1. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and it's just -20. Okay. All right. So, y'all, I'm going to keep moving along here. I want to see if we can finish the part on the equations, y'all, today, because that's kind of where we're supposed to end anyway. But let's see, +3. So, y'all, the opposite, -3. Okay, 6a. Y'all, right here, 3 minus 3, boom, 0, right? Okay, remember what we said. If we're multiplying by 6, the opposite is to divide. Y'all, again, what is 0 divided by 6? It's 0, right? It's still 0. So again, y'all, just again, one thing, guys, before we go on, just to make sure that everybody's okay, right? So like, look, if I had 12 and I divided it by 6, let's think about what that means. So look, y'all, if I had 12 candies, right, and there were 6 of us here, then that means that everybody would get 2 candies for one person, right? Okay. Now, what happens when we try to divide by 0? Y'all, 12 candies, and there's nobody to give it to. I can't figure out how many candies each person's going to get because there's nobody there. That's why we said that was undefined, right? Now, when we have 0 divided by 6, remember what the number on top stood for? The number on top stood for candy. Y'all, we have no candy, and there are still 6 people here. Guess what? Nobody gets a candy, right? 0 candies per person, right? Okay. So again, y'all, just to kind of give you that idea, it's okay for us to have 0 on the top. We just can't have 0 on the bottom. Okay. So I always want to make sure everybody's good with that part. Okay. Guys, let me scroll down a little bit further and let's try to do a few more here. Okay. So look, y'all, I'm going to scroll down here. Again, I want to move all my letters to one side, all my numbers to the other. Y'all, again, how you move them is really up to you. If you want to avoid having a negative in front of the x, take the smaller x and move it to the bigger x. Okay. So 8 minus 6, 2. Plus 20 equals 18. If it's a plus 20, we're going to go minus 20. Okay. 2x equals 18 minus 20, -2. Divide both sides by 2. Boom. -1. Okay. Now, y'all, before I go on, I'm going to rewrite the same problem we had. Okay. And I want to show y'all, when we did this part here, the first thing we did is we said, let's get rid of the 6x. Okay, guys, instead of me getting rid of the 6x, suppose I would have said, I want to get rid of the 8x. Okay. If we would have done that, y'all, we would have had a 20 here. 6 minus 8 would just give me a -2. Okay. And then if I would have said, look, I want to get rid of that 18, I'm going to minus 18. Okay. 20 minus 18 is 2 equals -2x. And then, y'all, if I were to divide by -2, those would go away. 2 divided by -2, -1. I want you to notice, y'all, that I get the same answer. Okay. Which is the right way to do it? Whichever way you think of first. If you decide to move the 6x, then do that. If you decide to move the 8x, then do that. You're going to get the same answer, okay? The objective is x's on one side and numbers on the other. So if we move the 6x, then we move the 20. But if we move the 8x, then we move the 18, right? But we're just moving one piece over at a time, right? But you're going to get the same answer either way. So is there the right way to do it? They're both the right way to do it, you know? All right. Y'all, coming back over here, let's multiply that 3. So 3 times 2 is 6. Good. Y'all, 3 times 5 is 15. And then right over here, y'all, minus 18 and plus 9. Remember what that means? I owe you $18 and I only have 9. Y'all, I still owe you 9, right? Okay. Now, I need to get rid of this plus 15, so I'm going to minus 15. Okay. So here's my 6x, because those go away. Y'all, right here, minus 9 and minus 15. That means I owe you $9. I borrow 15 more. Y'all, I now owe you 24. Okay. And then again, y'all, I'm going to divide everything here by 6. Okay. Negative 24 divided by 6. Boom. Negative 4. Good, good, good. So y'all, let me scroll down just a little bit more and see what else we got here, okay? So y'all, first thing I'm going to do, draw my line going straight down, okay? Right here, 2 plus 4, 16, okay? Y'all, right here, 1 and 2. Negative 4 times 3, negative 12. Y'all, negative 4 times another negative 4 is actually a positive 16, okay? Okay, y'all, we want to get rid of that positive 16, so we're going to minus 16. Okay. So right here, y'all, 16 minus 16 is 0 equals negative 12x. Y'all, if we were to divide everything here by negative 12, remember what we said? When we divide by, when we're dividing into 0, y'all, my answer is still going to be 0, right? Okay, good, good, good. Y'all, let me scroll down just a little bit more. See what else we got here. Okay, so we got some more equations. Okay, I'm just curious to see how many more we got because I honestly don't remember. And guys, the problems that have the fractions, we're gonna save that for Monday next week. So it looks like we got maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 more problems, something like that. Let's not knock these guys out. And then guys, I just want to make sure that everybody who's either been attending, whether in person or online, just want to make sure you guys are on the roster, okay? So let's do that once we finish these problems, okay? Look, y'all, I'm going to scroll down, okay, here. Negative 4y plus 10, okay, 1, 2. Y'all, negative 2 times 3, negative 6. Negative 2 times 1, boom, minus 2, okay? Y'all, remember what we said? We're going to move the smaller y to the bigger y? Y'all, the smaller y here between negative 4 and negative 6, the smaller one, y'all, actually negative 6. So I'm going to add 6y to both sides. Okay. So negative 4 and 6, y'all, is 2y plus 10. Those cancel. Negative 2. Okay. I'm going to minus 10 on both sides. So here, y'all, 2y. Let's see, minus 2 and minus 10. Y'all remember, I owe you $2. I borrowed 10 more. Boom, I now owe you 12. Okay. So, y'all, we can divide everything here by 2. Okay. And let's see, negative 12 divided by 2, y'all. Boom. Minus 6. Okay. Minus 6. All right. Guys, let's do this. I'm going to draw my line going down here. I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions. 15 and 9, which one is smaller? Okay, let's move the 9. If it's a plus, what do we put underneath it? Good. Y'all, I could have stayed home today. Let's see. 15 minus 9, 6. Minus 8 equals 10. Oops, 10. Okay. Y'all, if it's a minus 8, how do I get rid of the minus 8? Very good. Plus 8. Okay. Those go away. 6x, y'all. 10 and 8 is 18. Last step. Anybody remember how we get rid of the 6? Divided, right? Boom. Divided by 6, y'all. Okay. And that's going to give us a 3. Okay. Good. Good. Y'all, again, remember, I do have those practice problems there for y'all to work on. Again, the more you practice, the better chances you have of doing well on the test, y'all, because, again, it's not a spectator sport, right? It's like guys on Sundays, right? We in the fall, we can sit there and we can watch football all day long, but it didn't make us a football player, right? The only way we become football players, we actually get out there and start doing it ourselves. So again, we can watch as much of this as we can, but until you actually get hands-on, that's where you get the most practice, y'all. So again, I highly encourage you work the practice problems, guys. Okay. Again, I'm not just trying to give you work for the sake of giving you work. I want y'all to be able to do well. The more you practice them, y'all, the better you get. Okay. Or like if anybody was when you were in school, if you were in band or anything like that or orchestra, how do you get better? You practice, right? That's all it is to it. So right here, guys, that's going to give me a minus 6x, a minus 2 and a minus 4 is a plus 8 equals a 2x. Okay, y'all, between these two, the smaller one, that one, because it's negative, right? A negative number is always smaller than a positive, okay? So look, y'all, right here, plus 6x, plus 6x, okay? Those cancel, so 8 equals 2 and 6 is also 8. So y'all, when we divide everything here by 8, x equals 1. Okay. All right, let me scroll down a little bit more. And again, y'all, I'm going to draw my line going right here. Okay. So let's do this, y'all. Let's go 1 and 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times a minus 1 is a minus 5. That's a minus 6, and that's a 1. Okay. Let's see here, y'all. 10 minus 6, that's a 4. Minus 5 equals 1. Okay. Y'all, the way I get rid of my minus 5 is I'm going to plus 5. Okay. 1 and 5, y'all, is going to give me a 6. Okay. Now, almost done, y'all. Here we have 4x is equal to 6. Y'all, we're going to divide everything here by 4. Okay. Now, y'all, when I get to this step, boom, right here. Since I have a fraction, I just want to know if I can reduce it. Can I make my numbers smaller? Well, they're both even. So, y'all, that means we can divide them by 2. What's half of 6? 3. What's half of 4? Boom. And you're done, right? Good. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent, y'all. Okay, so guys, I'm going to scroll down just un poquito más. We got 1, 2, yeah, just 2 more to go, y'all. Let's knock these 2 out. And then again, y'all, I just want to make sure that everybody who's been, whether you're showing up online, y'all, or you're here, I just want to make sure you guys are on the list. That's the part that they asked me to double check. Okay, so look, y'all, negative 6x. Minus and minus, y'all, is going to become a plus 18. Minus 26 equals negative 8. Okay, so here, y'all, negative 6. Right here, let's see, 18 minus 26. Negative 8, maybe? Yeah, boom, minus 8 equals another minus 8. Okay, so look, y'all, we're going to go plus 8 here, plus 8 there. Negative 6x equals negative 8, and 8 is 0. So again, here, y'all, if I divide both sides by negative 6, boom, we still get 0. Okay. And there we go. All right, guys, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit more for this last problem. Okay. And again, we'll pick up the ones on the fractions, y'all. We'll pick up on those on Monday. Okay. So, y'all, again, right here, I'm going to leave this 4x and this plus 3 equals, let's see, we can combine that guy and that guy. So, negative 3 and 14, y'all, should be an 11. Okay. Again, y'all, I'm going to move the smaller x to the bigger x. So, I'm going to move that 2x over here so that those guys will cancel. And then right here, y'all, look, 4 minus 2, 2x, plus 3 equals 11. Okay. Y'all, again, y'all, I'm thinking about undoing the process. So if this is a plus 3, I'm going to say, look, let me undo it by going minus 3. Okay, those guys go away. 11 minus 3, y'all, is 8. And then when we divide both sides by 2, y'all, boom, we are getting x is equal to 4. Okay. All right. Y'all, like I said, the more practice you do, the better chances you have. You know, if you get some time this weekend, y'all, maybe go through some of those problems. Y'all, real quickly, I'm going to stop recording. Let me see. I know it's still doing that business there. Let me do this real quick, y'all. Let me try to leave this thing for everybody.